that leads to this continuous conversation of, loving yourself and what does that really mean? And to me, as I said yesterday, it really is about making yourself a priority. And I understand, how that sounds oftentimes when you have children and, it seems selfish. We've been taught that, self-care or taking time for yourself if you have children or a job or all these other things, like that's not how it's supposed to be for us. Hello. I am Mel Morris. This is WTF with Mel. And this week, I am labeling Love a Lady Week. And what does Love a Lady Week mean? Well, to me, this week started off with Mother's Day, right, on Sunday. So happy Mother's Day to all of you who have mothered some babies. It's a relentless job, but a lot of times it's fun. There's a lot of good to it. I'm sorry, I was just trying to see if I could. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. So I don't want to watch myself. I just want to make sure that I can. If I'm talking to someone. Okay, so loving a lady week as a mom, as a woman, whether you've raised kids or helped to raise kids. Yesterday, so let me back up. So Sunday, Mother's Day, if you get my newsletter, you saw that I actually focused more on Moscato Day, which Sunday was also Moscato Day. Because as a mom, like we often want drinks, right? We often want a cocktail more than we want another like mom, greatest mom, mug or t-shirt or necklace. And then yesterday, I was with my amazing co-cartographers. So my friends and I that do magical cartography. We had our talk yesterday. Hey, Wanda. Yes, happy belated Mother's Day to you as well. And I hope that you had some Moscato or some other kind of alcohol on Sunday. If things are all the same and, we do what we do, I'm going to guess that probably happened. And I love it. So yesterday, my magical cartographers and I were together and we focused on self-love and what that meant beyond just this idea that you can take a bubble bath every week or two and find 5 minutes to yourself and that is somehow self-care. Hey, Carrie, glad to see you on live again. So that was yesterday, and we had some great conversations, and we're going to continue to have those conversations with the magical cartographers. We decided that we're actually going to go ahead and create maybe a Facebook group just to put some resources in so you can always go back and watch the videos, and we'll have information, links to information that we mentioned on the show, like a couple of books and things we mentioned. So keep an eye out for that as well. But again, that leads to this continuous conversation of, loving yourself and what does that really mean? And to me, as I said yesterday, it really is about making yourself a priority. And I understand, how that sounds oftentimes when you have children and, it seems selfish. We've been taught that, self-care or taking time for yourself if you have children or a job or all these other things, like that's not how it's supposed to be for us, right? You're supposed to make everybody else a priority and then just be happy with whatever is left, or just be filled with joy because you got to be a mom all day or a parent all day, right? And we need to start calling bullshit on that, right? And recognize that, yes, absolutely, those things are beautiful. That's wonderful, but that's not all that it is. There's so much more to that. So that's really what I want to talk about today. And definitely, if anyone has any questions or insights or wants to share the thing that they did, hopefully, the thing that they did for themselves, either on Mother's Day or plan to do this week for themselves for self-care, I'd love to hear it. Monday was for women specifically to I forget the exact name of the day, but it was basically like schedule your checkup day, right? Because again, part of what we do as a women is we make sure that our kids get appointments. We try to make sure that our partners get appointments, but we often forget about ourselves, and we got a lot of stuff going on, right? So when I say make appointments, it isn't even just, with your primary care physician. That's certainly important. It's also with your gynecologist if you still need one. It is getting a mammogram, right? Which I will admit I'm overdue for because of COVID. It's seeing some kind of counselor or therapist or someone to talk to whenever you need that, and knowing that that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Dismissing this idea that you needing to talk to somebody somehow makes you less than, right? Or some indicator that, you're not strong enough. That's, again, BS, right? We're not going to do that. So, sorry, my phone's doing a weird thing. Okay. So if you get the newsletter, and I want to show the image of the card that I also pulled for us for this week, and you should be able to see it here. So the card is the Page of Wands, right? And so as I thought about what we needed to discuss this week and how we can think about loving ourselves more and making ourselves more of a priority, if you look at the Page of Wands in this particular deck, wands are all about action, right? They're about taking action. So the first message I would say is that you have to take action, right? Self-care isn't just, oh, I'm going to think about doing a thing, right? Or I'm going to stop thinking altogether and somehow try to eliminate what's happening around me. No, self-care is taking action, right? The second piece to this particular card is the page themselves. The pages in tarot are kind of like, I think of it as like teenage energy, right? So if you can remember being a teenager, it was that time where like anything is possible, and you have like a ton of energy to get things done as well, right? So thinking about that time when you have the energy, you didn't allow restrictions to get in your way of doing the things that you really wanted to do. As parents, we often think of those times as, kids being defiant, but I mean, if you could step back from that, it is about exploration and pushing back against boundaries that are just there because they're there, right? So putting those two pieces together, you've got all this excitement around exploration. You've got the energy to do it, and then again with the wands taking action. If we pull that all together in the context of self-love and self-care and loving yourself this week, you've got to push against the norms, push against those boundaries that exist for no other reason than because they've just been there forever, and take action towards what you can do to love yourself more, right? To show love more, right? Just before this, I was in a group, and there's an amazing woman, Freddie. I'm going to forward her summit information because she has a summit going on right now. And she is caught in a cycle of what we often do to ourselves. We create this, maybe I'm not doing enough, right? Maybe I'm not offering enough. Maybe I'm not showing up enough. I mean, And that's just not true, right? That's just what we're telling ourselves because we think we're supposed to be doing more, right? So even that is about taking that step back and looking at, well, what am I doing? I'm doing a lot of shit, right? And appreciating that and remembering, most importantly, why? Why am I putting these things out into the universe? Why am I doing the job that I do? If you have your own business, why did I even start this business, right? If you have a job or even a hobby that seems like so much work now and so much pressure, you have to step back and say, well, why did I even start doing this? What do I love about this? What can I get out of this for me that's just bringing me joy, right? And so that's what I encourage you to do this week. And so the other thing I'd add with this card is, if you see, his expression, what he's doing in the card, this listening to these birds. And part of that action that we need to take is, again, stepping back and just listening, right? Listening to what our bodies are trying to tell us, listening to the universe giving us signs that are happening all the time that we like to ignore and pretend aren't happening or we don't have time for. It is taking that step back, right? I don't know why my nose is so itchy today. But it's taking that step back and just listening, right? So if we think about self-care and some things that we can do, and, again, I'm not anti-bubble bath, right? If that's a thing that helps you unwind and calm down, and it's something that you do consistently with the intention of caring for yourself, then do that. Do that regularly. Make a point of scheduling that in, putting it on your calendar like an appointment that you absolutely can't miss, right? For me, doing meditation, sitting, and it's not doing meditation for the sake of doing meditation, but allowing myself the time to not try to figure shit out, right? Just sitting and listening to what the universe is giving to me, or to my mind working things out without trying to find a solution, without trying to force a solution on whatever's happening in my life, right? I mentioned yesterday that sometimes self-care is turning off the TV, right? Some of us are so focused on being informed about what's happening in the world that it just becomes overwhelming, right? And you want to take everything in, you want to be abreast of what's happening, but you have to be mindful of your own energy and who you're giving that away to. And I've had so many conversations, just in the last few days, about protecting our energy and how important that is, right? So, that would be the other thing to think about is, where are you putting your energy? Where is that going? How am I giving that away? Versus how am I protecting myself and my energy? What am I saying no to? What do I need to say no to more of? Right? We do so many things, and I'm sure you all can attest to this. We do things because we've been doing them, or we think we're supposed to, or somebody told us we're supposed to be doing this thing that we don't necessarily like or enjoy. We're just doing it because it's routine. Think about all the things that you're doing in your life from the minute you wake up in the morning, and ask yourself, like, why? Why am I doing this? Is this something that I need to do? Is this something that makes me happy doing? Is the world going to stop turning if I stop doing it? Right? And if the answer is, yeah, I don't need this, then let it go. Right? So I feel like that's kind of it. That's what I wanted to give you. I also, I usually will pull a card beforehand for myself of, like, what do I need to share with you all? And I'll put it up here. And it was the Queen of Swords. I don't look at my nails. I was chipping off this polish yesterday. Was the Queen of Swords. And it really goes back to the same message here that, the Queen of Swords is, Swords is all about communication and our thoughts, and the fact that she is completely in control of not in a like aggressive way or a mean way, but it really is about being comfortable in who you are and how you're communicating, how you're expressing yourself, and how you're receiving information from other people, right? Because that's communication as well. The listening part is important, and the queen is just fully settled, and matter of fact is kind of the term that pops into my head about those communications. So, I'll tie this back and end with, again, self-care being about being intentional, listening to what the universe, what your body, what your spirit, what God wants to tell you, listening to that, hearing that, and taking action towards your self-care. And then being perfectly okay with being able to communicate what you need to do once you get those messages, right? Being comfortable and saying, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to carpool anymore. I don't want to bake 1,000 cupcakes for this fundraiser. How about I give you $50 or, whatever it is. Being comfortable and saying that, right, is so important. So I hope this is helpful. I'd love to hear, some of your self-care tips, or what you need help and support with doing as far as self-care goes. I will move me back. I will remind you all that, see if I can show us. I think this pushes it out too. I mentioned this last week, I think, but if you haven't worked with me before, I'm also offering now this fun new service I'm calling 2-Minute Tarot, which is, if you click on the link, and yep, it's there. You should be able to see it. It's right here, but it's in the chat. So if you click on the link, it'll take you to a page. You can ask me a question, whatever you want some information around. I will pull one card, and I will send you a video, a 2-minute video with a little bit of information. And that's it. There's no strings attached. You don't have to buy anything. If you want more information, absolutely, of course, I'd love to work with you. But this is really just a chance to see, like, what might this look like, right? What do I need like a little bit of help with, or a little piece of information? And I'd love to be able to provide it to you. So make sure that you click the link and send me your question. And if you have any questions in general, I'm always here for you. Make sure you send them to me. And other than that, stay magical.